All right, so I know that following the notes is a little bit confusing, so I wanted to go through 4 of the Khan Academy problems with you guys so that you kind of knew what to look for when you were doing this assignment. Hopefully you don't get the same problems as me. So this first one, the vocabulary that I want to look at is angle A is being circumscribed from circle O. Angle O is the central angle, and angle D is the inscribed angle. So what we actually need to find first is angle O, and then we can find angle D from the inscribed angle properties. So one thing that we need to know is that AC and AB are tangents, and tangents meet the radius at a 90-degree angle. So those have to be 90 degrees. So if you look at the shape formed from C, O, B to A, that's going to be a quadrilateral. And the angles of a quadrilateral add up to be 360 degrees. I'm so sorry for the writing. So to find angle O, we're going to subtract the 3 angles that we know. So we know 90 degrees. We're going to subtract another 90 degrees. And we're going to subtract 80. So when we subtract 360 minus 90 minus 90 minus 80, we get 100. So angle O is 100 degrees. Oh my gosh. Remembering that central angles equal the arc that they form, so CB is also 100 degrees. So this equals arc CB. Okay. And lastly, we need to know that inscribed angles are half of the arc that they form. So angle D is going to be half of arc CB. So angle D should be 50 degrees. For the second problem, we have a tangent line from A to C, and we have a secant line from A to O. So we just need to find part of that secant, which is AB. So one of the properties from the notes is that a tangent and a secant form a right triangle. So this triangle has a 90-degree angle at C. So we have a leg and we have another leg, so we need to find the hypotenuse first. And to do that, we use the Pythagorean theorem. So we're doing 7 squared plus 24 squared. And what does that equal? So 7 squared plus 24 squared is going to be 625. And then we take the square root of that, which is 25. So we know that this whole hypotenuse, this whole secant, is 25. And we know that the distance from O to B is 7 because that's the radius. So the distance from A to B would be 25 minus 7, which would give you 18. In this problem, we have a bunch of tangent lines. So all these lines outside of this quadrilateral and outside of this circle are tangent lines. One of the properties that we talked about is if you have 2 tangent lines, they are equidistant to the point of tangency. So from A to this point here is 8, so A to this point here is 8. So now that we have this whole length, 8 plus 3.1 would be 11.1. Since this is 3.1, this is 3.1. And again, this whole length is 11.1. And we know this length from D to C is 11.1, and we also know that from A to D is going to end up being 11.1 with these equidistant shapes. So to find the perimeter, we add all the sides up, and we would get 44.4. And in this last problem, we have 2 tangent lines and a central angle. and 2 radii. So again, remembering the properties that a radius is going to meet a tangent line at the point of tangency and form a right angle. So the tangent line and the radius are perpendicular. We need to find angle O. We know that this is a quadrilateral, so again, we have 360 degrees, and we're subtracting the angles that we know to find angle O, so we know 90 degrees. We know another 90 degrees, and we know 70 degrees. And when we subtract 360 minus 90 minus 90 minus 70, we get 110. So the central angle is 110 degrees. So I hope that helps you guys with your Khan Academy.